Hello friends, and Good Time Zone. And what is up, gamers? Hi everyone. Yes, I know that the starting soon music is still Halloween, even though we are almost a week into November, and do you want to know why? Because I like Halloween season and Halloween music, and I'm not ready for it to be over. That's why. Also, I've been informed of some very important news, and I don't really know what to do about this. And I will switch over to art camera and let you know that it's been brought to my attention that Lego is making an Enterprise from Star Trek, and it's got like Captain Picard and his little crew. There's even Guinan is there, my girl. I love it. Spot. It comes with Spot. Oh god. Oh god, but here's the kicker. Here's the problem. Here's the thing. Can you read that? This has given me psychic damage. I don't have that kind of money. The thing, also we don't have the storage space for a whole ass enterprise. Like, that is a big build. I will grant that. If they had like a smaller one that was just like a little diorama of the like the bridge or 10 forward or something, I'd be super into that. Because as a gift with purchase, you also get this little shuttle. And I think the little shuttle build is super cute, but also look who comes with the little shuttle. Do you know who that is? That's Ensign Ro Laren. That's who that is. Who comes with the shuttle that is a free gift with purchase if you buy the 350-pound Enterprise. Honestly, I would love to have just like this shuttle. It's really stinking cute. And Ensign Ro and all of her friends. I don't need the whole ship. I don't care about the ship. I just want like the little guys. I would love a little, like, you know, sort of somewhat minifigure scale, like, little scene for them to hang out in, like the bridge, or even just a ding-dang corridor. Just give me, like, an empty, like, rectangle and make it look like the inside of a holodeck that's not currently running a program. I would love this. Anyways, hello, Turnip. Welcome in. Thank you for agreeing that, like, 100% Ogum about that set, but also, yikes, that's too expensive. Hey, Lux, welcome in. Are you okay? Are you okay? Because I'm not. Hey, Sledge, hey, darling, I love you. Dan says, well, if it isn't my favorite George Michael tribute act, whammy, Kelch, I love it, thank you. Yes, good. So Lux is dead, and yeah, I completely agree. But it's 350 pounds, Lux. It's 350 pounds. What the nuts am I supposed to do with 350 pounds? That is like how much... That's a not insignificant percentage of the way into the amount of money I have to pay to apply for a British passport. Which is, I'm pretty sure where all of my money is going to go fairly soon as I can get the paperwork together. So, yeah. But also, I don't have the shelf space for that. If somebody buys it, please share pictures. Because I would love to see it. But I can't afford that. Anyways, you know... But on the other hand, I do hope that it does well. I really hope that it does well, because if it does well, maybe they'll do more of them. Maybe they'll do a little, oh man, you know what I'd love? You know what I would love as a little, like, Lego set? Quarks. I would love Quarks as a Lego set. That would be super fun, I think. You could have all the little tables, you could have the bar, you could have a little Ferengi. Oh man, that would be so cute. That'd be so cute. It's $500. I will buy it. I don't care, says Lux. I fully support this as a sound financial decision. You know, I mean, I don't know. That feels like a sound financial decision. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. I'm really torn because, you know, I'm poor. I'm poor and have, like, citizenship fees I'm gonna have to pay soon. I don't know how much... Well, they keep increasing my credit card limit, which is scary to me, because I don't want to max out my credit card limit, because what if something happens and I can't pay it back? That's a bad financial decision. No. No. Absolutely freaking not. Forget it. But, you know, on the other hand, it's really cute. It's so cute. It comes with Spot. The very special little kitty cat. This is Data's best friend. It's very special to me. Anyways, so yeah, I found out about this literally as I was, like, setting up to go live on stream. So that's where my brain's at right now. Whoa. Yeah. I have some bents. I think I'm gonna use these. I don't know if these are the right choice, but these are the ones that I decided that I wanted to use today, so I'm gonna try and use them today. But anyways, hello. For anyone who isn't into Star Trek, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Turnip says if they do one Star Trek TNG, they might do other baby ones. This is true. This is true. Ooh. I wonder what, like, obscure one-episode characters will inexplicably show up as, like, a minifigure in one of the sets. That would be fun. Oh, shoot, no, she was on Voyager, heck. Or was it? Yeah, no, that was a Voyager episode, never mind. They're having I'm sorry, what, Lux? I'm sorry, what? Apparently they're having a live release stream with Jonathan Frakes. What? Oh man, I love that guy. This is not how I intended to start stream today, but this is breaking my brain, y'all. Can you believe to learn? Can you believe to learn? If he's not standing with one leg on a chair, we're being shortchanged. Oh my god, I mean, this is true, but also he's like my dad's age, so I don't know if his knees are still up to it. We need a Barkley with transporter psychosis set. Oh my god, yes we do. Yes, we super do. I would love to see it. That would be amazing. I'm gonna unwrap my paints. This is... Okay, so this is Shire Blue, which is actually green. Just for confusion's sake. Like, it says it's blue, but it's teal. We have orange, and we have yellow, but... Oh, man, Man! I can think of so many sets that I would love to see. Like, oh man, like an engineering set with a little warp core. How cute would that be? That would be so cute. I'm so sorry to anyone on the, wait a second. No, the stream isn't 5. No, I'm busy. I have to stream. I understand if you all want to leave and watch the Lego launch. That's fine. Also, my streaming software doesn't tell me how many people are watching, so genuinely, if no one was here, I would simply not know and continue on as normal, until I realized that no one was chatting, and then I would check, and then I would see that no one was here, and then I would feel sad and probably end the stream. But anyways, oh my god. They did make Spot, Lux. They did make Spot. I know. Spot, the goodest cat, the subject of... Okay, this is... I can have 2 tabs open to start if this is true. This is very true. So... Controversial Star Trek take. I think Data's poetry is great. I think it's delightful. I think it's mean that his friends think that it's bad. I don't know if this is just because, like... I don't know. I tend to think that I don't know if I have the same, like... flavor of tism that Data does, but I think they must be like complementary flavors because I think his poetry is lovely. Wait a second, look. Okay, we've got this breaking news just in from Lux. They gave Commander Riker a trombone. Genuinely, that is whoever designed this set, whatever team was involved in designing this set. This has clearly come from a place of love. Because they paid attention. Like, they're like, okay, what's this character like? Oh, he's a trombonist. We have to do something. Oh my god. Oh my god. I want a Lego figure size yes, a little poker table. They could play their little poker games around. Yes, so good. Lux has quoted the best poem ever written. Felis catus is your taxonomic nomenclature, an endothermic quadruped, carnivorous by nature. Your visual, olfactory, and auditory senses contribute to your hunting skills and natural defenses. I'm sorry, how can you not love that poem? It's beautiful. It is truly beautiful. It gets right to the heart of, you know, all the lovely things about Spot, and concludes with the fact that he's a good kitty, and Data loves his cat. Lux says, Sammy, the word is trombone. I was trying really hard not to have to say the word tromboner. Very hard trying not to say the word tromboner, so thank you for that. Oh my god, Dr. Crusher in her little nightgown, in a little, like, just a little, it could just be like a little, like, you know, sort of maybe like A6 sized set of a foggy space Scotland graveyard, and she's in her little nightie, and she's holding a candle. And if you know what episode I'm referencing, I'm sorry. I still can't believe so I saw someone put out a poll a little while ago of like, what's your favorite bad Star Trek episode? And included amongst it was that episode, which is not my favorite bad Star Trek episode because I just think it's bad. But they also put the DS9 escape room episode, which is incorrect. That is just a very good episode. It's just a fun time. They do an escape room. It's great. I love it. The space board game people. I relate to those people as someone who enjoys a good tabletop board game situation. Just reclining with a smile and a green mist. Then shooting her dead Nana with a phaser. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. I hate it. I mean, it's great, but I hate it. You know. Anyways. This has nothing to do with the art that I was going to do today. Yeah, Move Along Home. I genuinely love that episode of Deep Space Nine. I don't know why you would say it's a bad episode. It's a good episode. It is a good episode. It's a fun episode. It's a good time. It's about board games. Come on. Anyways, I didn't realize that people hated it. I think it's fun. It's delightful. You get like Quark having a crisis. You get, just weird stuff. Just weird things are happening. People being entirely out of their element, and they have to do an escape room. Where's the fun with that? Civil Defense is a good episode of DS9. Civil Defense is one of this is an absolute solid banger. You have attention Bajoran workers. My wife left me. You have all kinds of like emergency stuff. You have Bashir flirting with Garak. You have Garak being like, hey, Gul Dukat, stop flirting with Kira. She's not going to fuck you. He says that. It's a good episode. And there's a good, exciting, crazy-ass ticking clock. Like, they're all gonna die because of this stupid-ass computer program that no one bothered to get rid of when the station changed ownership. It's a great time. This is not supposed to be a talking about Star Trek stream, but here we are. I'm not sorry. Damn dumb subroutines, says Turnip. Dumb subroutines. Terrible, terrible systems. Stupid ass fail-safes. Wow, the Cardassian government sucks. Anyways, Ampok Nor is also gonna... Wait a second. Do people think that Ampok Nor is a bad episode? That's a great episode. It's crazy. He's not the kind of person to get space therapy, but I really hope that Garrett gets some space counseling or something after that episode, because Jesus flippin' heck, he goes through it. Anyways, it's intense. It's real scary and fun, and O'Brien has a terrible time, which is always makes for an enjoyable episode. I don't know what the nuts. Anyways, I'm like 15 episodes into my like hacking my brain to make myself be productive on a project I want to finish rewatch. Today I finished sewing the sleeve cuffs of my shirt, and I got one stitch into the collar. Yay! Garrick's space therapy is boning Bashir. I mean, yeah. I feel like for my mental health, I have to believe that they're at least, like, snuggling off screen. At least they're snuggling off screen. I have to believe that this is the case. Like, my God, guys. Please stop being, like... No matter what Rick Berman has to say about it, they're in love with each other. And it's canon now, so... Anyways, I also want to do a study on the evolution of Keiko O'Brien, says Lux. Ooh, have I got an art for you? Here's something I painted a couple weeks ago. I think, because of reasons, I think you might like it. Hold on. No, wait. Oh, there it is. Okay, this is my Instagram. And I am logged in, so it's not going to kick me out. Where is she? Where is she? There she is. Oh, would you look at that? It's a botanist in her botany lab. Anyways, she went from a kind of exotic Orientalism in TNG to a more neutered character in DS9. Well, you know, I'm glad that they dropped the exotic Orientalism. And also, I love her very much. Anyways, it's very important to me that one of the... There's like... Okay, so for anyone who hasn't seen Star Trek Deep Space Nine, I'm so sorry. There is an arc in, I think it's the 5th season, where she and her husband Miles are having a baby, but then something space gubbins goes wrong, and they have to transfer the baby to a surrogate in order to, like, you know, carry it to term because she's, like, injured or something. And so Major Kira ends up carrying their baby, yada, 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 and she moves in with them. And, oh my god, watching it in 2025, it is so obvious. It is so obvious that, like, Keiko is trying to initiate a throuple situation with Major Kira and her husband and herself. But the other two are, like, just dense as bricks about it, and don't get it, even though, like, they all want to bone each other, okay? All three of them absolutely want to bone each other, and I wish that they got to just be a throuple. That would have been amazing. But it was the 90s, and I get that they didn't... I don't know how much of this was intentional. It doesn't matter. The death of the author, okay? Anyways. But yeah. Anyways, that's Rick Berman hating women. Yeah, I have my... You know... Sometimes I feel like there are certain eras of 90s Trek that were good in spite of Rick Berman. You know what I mean? Anyways, Turnip says that is one of the most bizarre writing, an actor being pregnant into being part of the story as well. That Jet, like, the thing is, they like, it is one of the, like, classic tropes of television, I think, that one of your actors is pregnant in real life. What do? You put them in oversized jackets. You have them carrying a lot of, like, empty cardboard boxes here and there to cover up their tummies. You shoot them from, like, the shoulders up and, like, turned away in, like, far away shots so you can't see their big, you know, sort of pregnant tum-tum. And sometimes you just have them randomly playing an acoustic guitar. You know, like, it works. It has worked on so many shows. And as a viewer, I can recognize that, like, oh, I can see that Gates McFadden was pregnant in this season, but they didn't want Dr. Crusher to have a baby, so they just gave her a larger jacket and shot her, you know, sort of in, like, close-up shots from the shoulders up more often. That's just what you do. But in this case, they were like, oh, we can't do that with this actor for some reason, so we're just gonna write in a storyline. And that is how, you know, that is how Yoshi O'Brien was born. And we could, you know, we almost had a throuple. I swear we almost had a throuple. We could have had it all. Anyways. Hey, Q2s, how's it going? Welcome in. It's lovely to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Q2 says, did you know that Sammy's a certified cutie patootie? Hey, that's really nice. I appreciate that remark. That's incredibly kind. Thank you. I'm blushing. Oh, Beans. Star Wars Trek, my favorite movie. You know, yeah, like, I am a huge fan of Stargate. I love when the droids show up. They're so campy. Anyways. Especially the Daleks. They're my favorite droids. Anyways. You never have to stop talking about Star Trek. This is the problem. It is my lifelong hyperfixation, and I will always have things to say about it. I am trying to make a fairly short, fairly simple video about the making of an 18th century shirt, and I keep... I keep writing these long-winded Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode reviews that I'm not going to be able to use in the video. So those are probably going to go up somewhere separately because I have a lot of thoughts and I have a lot of opinions and I'm right. And there might be 4 people on the internet who want to hear my thoughts and opinions about Deep Space Nine. And it does not belong on my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel, by the way. There we go. Q2 says, I don't care about either, but enjoy the little chaos it causes when I call it Star Wars Trek and offend both fan bases. Oh, Q2s. Q. My friend. I wish I knew where it was, because I have a t-shirt that you know the like titles of Star Wars. You know the Star Wars titles in that very recognizable like type font. The title card of the film. Star Wars in those big like yellow letters that the really, you know, it establishes like the space aesthetic of it. I have a t-shirt that I'm gonna see if it still exists on the internet because I want to show you if I can find it. Because it is my favorite thing. Okay, I think whoever designed this shirt, I feel like a lot of people have lovingly borrowed this design. But this is effectively I wore this to the Star Wars Celebration event when it happened in London, and I went for a day with my friends, and the opportunities to meet and greet Carrie Fisher were sold out by the time that I managed to get anywhere near the queue. And I still don't know what she would have made of this shirt, but I hope she would have appreciated it. But I did. I wore this to a Star Wars event all day. I had a great time. I'm very bad at recognizing how I'm being perceived by others, so I have no idea if people appreciated it or not. But so I own a t-shirt that has this written on it, and it is one of my favorite shirts. And I do not know where it is currently. I do need to do a wardrobe purge at some point soon to get rid of a bunch of stuff that I don't wear, and if I can dig it out of the depths of the floordrobe, in so doing, I will start wearing it again, because it is a damn good shirt. Anyways, so that's that. But yeah. Q2 says, what I say I don't care about either, which is totally fair. I really mean it. I fell asleep within the first 15 minutes of people trying to introduce me to these movies. That is totally fair. They're not for everybody. And I recognize that my interests are, how shall I say, niche. And the overlap of them is virtually 2 circles rather than a Venn diagram. It's very, like, you could be fooled into, you know, not looking too closely and not realizing that those circles are very tiny amount of intersection right there. And the rest of it is basically just 2 separate circles. That's the Venn diagram of people who share my stupid niche interests. None of which has anything to do with the things I was going to paint today. Which was a little mug. So here's my concept. Here's my concept. Also, I do have an announcement to make a little bit later, but I was going to wait for a bit just to make sure that there were actually, you know, people here. But there are people here now. But I'll do it after the first break, I think. I do have a little announcement to make. But anyways, so I had 2 ideas, and I don't know if they really go together. This isn't really meant to be like a diptyque type piece or anything. But announcement, oh my god, SammyCon is happening. No, I don't have that kind of event planning skills or budget, and my social battery is extremely low. So if it was like greater than 4 hours, I would not be able to be present. Or I would simply die. Anyways. Also, I don't think anyone wants to go to a convention that's all about me. That sounds terrible. I'm not that interesting. Like, what would that entail? If that was just like me with like 3 to 4 people I like at like a coffee shop having a latte. SammyCon where we taste test tea. Oh, okay, that sounds kind of fun. This tea is West Country pear cider, by the way. It's very sweet. It's very sweet. I'm honestly not sure this one's my favorite. I think it's almost a little too fruity. I've been drinking a lot of chamomile tea lately, and I'm really liking it. Is it chamomile or chamomile? I don't know which one I say. I don't say it out loud very often, and I think I'm like quite inconsistent as to the way that I say it. I don't actually know which one I say. Is that weird? That feels weird. Anyways, art concepts. So I did a little like teapot here, and I've got, you know, sort of like the steam is rising out of the teapot, but I thought would it be cute to put like a little landscape up in here? I think that would be fresh as heck. Some kind of like cozy little landscape, maybe some mountains, some trees, maybe a little cottage in there someplace, some flowers, you know, that kind of thing. You like cute stuff, right? But for this one, this was the first idea that I had. I would organize SammyCon, but I got burned by GracieCon and need to recoup my losses first since Dan. Oh, beans. Well, also, I genuinely don't think anyone wants to go to a convention that's me. I don't think I'm that interesting. I don't know if I could. I could probably bake enough biscuits. I baked all the cakes for my wedding. I could bake enough biscuits for a convention. Yeah. Because if you're going to have tea and coffee, you want to have biscuits, right? Anyways. We had a mini convention in the car. Was that not just 3 individuals driving to a destination who are all friends with each other? I feel like that might have been 3 individuals who are friends with each other driving to a destination in a car. And I mean, it was a fun time because I like hanging out with you. Q2 says this tea and coffee would go great with the macarons Kirsty drew today. I wished that I could hang out in Kirsty's stream because those macarons looked really delicious. But unfortunately I had to like read documents and fill in spreadsheets and do like the boring admin parts of my life. Were there lanyards? If so, it was a convention. Sadly, no lanyards. Next time, Lux, are we gonna have to do lanyards so it's official? Ew, lame, says Q2's. I know. Listen, I very much wish to be free of it. I'm so sad. Anyways, I'm gonna not dwell on that. So here's the thing about coffee for me is that, like, you know, like my coffee consumption tends to be like I have a coffee around midday, like at lunchtime, and then I have a coffee after dinner. I am an after dinner coffee enjoyer. I like the coziness of a nice hot cup of tea, like after dark. That is like prime coffee real estate for my mouth and digestive system. Because you have ADHD, says Lux. Exactly. The focus provision of the caffeine in the coffee lets my brain focus enough on falling asleep. I like having coffee at night. So what I wanted to do was do like a whole sort of like night sky up in here, like do some stars and some nice swirly night sky paint in this this steam rising from the maca pot. That if that much steam is rising from the maca pot, for the love of God, take it off of the hob. It's done. Don't burn it. Don't ruin your maca pot by letting it boil dry on the bottom, please and thank you. Anyways, but it does make for a delightful illustration. But more heat, got it, says Q2's. Yeah, great, good job, love that for you. Anyways, my moderator / spouse and I received a voucher. Well, it was my moderator / spouse's supermarket loyalty card. He received a voucher for a free 225 gram bag of coffee beans from the supermarket, from their like luxury range coffee. And so we are drinking the fancy coffee from the supermarket. And let me tell you, it is the darkest roast I have consumed in so long. I am not used to drinking dark roast coffees anymore. They do not roast that dark at any of the roasteries that I like. Genuinely, I think specialty coffee in general roasts lighter than like supermarket coffee brands, right? So what like a specialty coffee roaster would consider to be a medium roast is gonna be lighter than what the supermarket calls a medium roast, because I'm pretty sure they call this like medium roast coffee, and it is black as night, y'all. It is so dark. It tastes like maximum roastage. And I'm not used to drinking that anymore. And when I used to drink like super dark roast coffees, it was back in Canada where we had half and half cream, and we would put half and half cream in our coffee. And I think that balances out like the roasty toastiness of like a very, very dark coffee significantly more than skimmed milk does, which is what I would normally put in a filter coffee if I want milk in my filter coffee. And normally I like a milky coffee situation. So I'm starting. Ooh, Lux says I'm starting on a coffee journey again. Hell yeah. It's an Ethiopian kwabale, but I'm not sure about it. Ooh, interesting. How do you know how it's been? Do you know how it's been processed? Is it like, is it washed? Is it natural? Is it extended fermentation? Is it yeast inoculated? Is it black honey, red honey, white honey? It's washed. Okay, so like, what are the notes? What are the notes like? I wish I could give you coffee recommendations, but you know, all of the coffee that I drink more or less is roasted here in the UK, so it'd be very expensive and take a super long time to get to you in Canada. So that's not very helpful. I had I am currently drinking on my V60 filter a natural coffee from Uganda, which has notes of strawberry and cream. It's so good. It's so good. It's so cozy. The other one I have, actually the two coffees that I have at the moment, normally I try to get like a natural and a washed, or like two different kinds of honey process or something. Both of the coffees I have in the moment are a natural process coffee, and the other one is from Brazil, and it's very like Brazilian coffee. So it's got that, it's very easy drinking, it's rich, it's a little cocoa-y, it's nice. This is more of like a dark chocolate cocoa-y, if there's any cocoa to it, but really it's definitely got like a strawberryness to it, which is wild. It starts off with a hit of sweetness that then goes super acidic on the back. Interesting. Is it too acidic for you? Because I'm wondering, there are ways to try and like moderate the acidity of a coffee. The So Good ASMR spooked me. This is Q2's. Oh god, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I'm trying to think, what are the, possibly even just a bit of sugar would help. A bit of sugar would definitely help. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do like a sweet, I do like a coffee sweet for sure. Sorry. What was I saying? Oh no, I think my brain yawned just then. Maybe I shouldn't be drinking herbal tea right now. I'm gonna make a black tea on the next break, I think. Anyways, I might make another cup now just to do some testing. But I'll use the same brands. I think possibly you might want to like maybe brew temperature. Maybe brew temperature could make a difference in terms of like how much of the different James Hoffman has done a lot of science about sort of hacking the different flavor compounds that come out of coffee, and I know that at different temperatures and at different brew times as well, depending on how you're making it, like if it's a percolation brew, if it's an immersion brew, how long it brews for can affect which flavor compounds come out of the grounds, if that makes sense. So like the amount of extraction that you're getting from the coffee. Like, I know that I've had some very bad coffees out of, like, office coffee machines. that I could tell were under extracted because the mouthfeel was very thin and they tasted very sour, for instance. Whereas if it's like thin and sour, it's probably under extracted. If it's harsh and bitter, it's probably over extracted. If it's just kind of super acidic, it might just be a coffee that has high acidity. In which case I don't know how much brew tweaking is going to change that, or if it's just maybe these coffee grounds aren't to your preference because you prefer something with less acidity. I don't know. I know that, like, a lot of the time I don't always get, okay, so, sorry this is kind of devolved into coffee talk, but no, I'm not, because coffee talk is interesting. To me, anyways. But you know how a lot of coffees have, in fact, I would say most coffees have tasting notes listed on them, like chocolate, or, orange and caramel, or tropical fruit, or cereal, and you can infer things about what kind of coffee it is based on the tasting notes that you get. If you see a lot of like citrus and tropical fruit, it's probably going to be fairly like bright and acidic. If you see a lot of like chocolate and almond, it's probably going to be deeper and smoother. Now it's working. Okay, awesome. Well, that's a good start. Also, I guess we're gonna get an ad break in a couple minutes. Shoot. I think that is our scheduled ad break, so that's totally fine, but, oh no. Well, it's good to be back. Assuming I was gone. I don't know. My streaming software seems to think that I was live continuously. But Twitch thinks that I have been streaming for 50 seconds and I have a single viewer. And it is possible that everyone left because stream was broken, which, fair enough. Also, I think I missed a hydrate from Q2s. I'm so sorry. I'll take a sip of my weird tea now. So apologies for that. But we are back. We are back and we are rolling. And I still don't know whether or not I want this to be sort of oh man, sorry to bring it all back to Star Trek, but there's coffee in that nebula. My queen, who I do have a sketch of here someplace that I do want to paint at some point in the near future. Here she is. This is Captain Janeway with a cup of coffee. I love them. Anyways, why is it? Okay, Twitch is doing something new and weird, and I suspect maybe... Oh man, did Twitch make a change and then it broke my stream? Because there's now 3... I'm just going to take a photo so you can see what I'm seeing right now, because it is kind of crazy. In as much as... Thank you for the posture check, U2s. So I have 3 notifications here all telling me that an ad break is coming. Okay, this is overexposed, but 3 different notifications telling me that an ad break is coming, and they're not all reporting the same countdown. They're out by like 2 seconds. So, well, I've got 45 seconds to do a stretch, or 44 seconds. It doesn't know. Hey Sammy, an ad break is coming. Apparently, it really wants me to know. I've got 3 different notifications for it. What the hell is happening right now? I'm so confused. So yeah, I think Twitch broke itself. I think Twitch maybe pooped its pants. 1 notification per ad, says Q2s. Oh, that's terrible. Why only 2 minutes of stream? Did stream die? Asks Sledge. Apparently it did. Just in case Sledge can't hear, I have typed in chat, apparently stream pooped its pants. And it's time for an ad break in an unknown number of seconds. So you might end up with like 3 different ads sort of stacked on top of each other. At this point, I have no idea. But good luck with that. I'll be back in a minute. BRB. What's up, nerds? I'm back. Thank you for sticking around. So it's been chaotic for the last few minutes of stream, but if anyone's still here, thank you so much for sticking around. I'm sorry that it has been kind of weird. It says I've been streaming for 11 and a half minutes. That's a bloody lie. It's been well over an hour, but I'm back. Hello. And I still don't know what I want to do with this bloom of coffee. This is not what we refer to as a bloom in coffee parlance, but I don't know what else to call it. A cloud, something. Anyways, I'm gonna take a sip of my additional tea. This is a chai that has coffee beans in it, which I thought was a weird choice, but I wanted to try it. I think I mostly got cinnamon, ginger, and cardamom on that sip. I didn't really get a strong coffeeness, which I'm fine with. I'm fine if it doesn't taste of coffee. I mostly wanted to taste of cinnamon, ginger, and cardamom, if I'm being honest. It's very sweet. It's very sweet. I think maybe the coffee is giving it like a sweetness, actually. I don't know. Anyways, it's alright. It's not bad. I should put some masking fluid stars into here, though. I didn't do that before, because, well, my internet apparently was going crazy. Or, no, my internet was fine. But Twitch decided to disconnect me for unknown reasons. Maybe I'm just too cool for Twitch. Hi, babe. No, just post for me. I'm sorry. Actually, that was an interesting thing that happened today. So I had the postie turned up and delivered something. And then a different postie from the same postal service showed up 5 minutes later. Not 5 minutes later.
Is it 5 minutes? Well, not 5 minutes.
About 5 minutes later. Within 5 minutes of each other. And delivered a second parcel. Were they on the same van? I genuinely don't know. That's never happened to me before. It was very confusing, but, you know, like, no complaints. I received some orders I was waiting for, including my advent calendar for the year. You'll never guess what I got an advent calendar of.
Sex toys.
Sweetheart! Tea. It was tea. I got an advent calendar of tea. Is anyone surprised? No. I don't know if you heard what my moderator/spouse shouted as his suggestion of what my advent calendar subject might have been, but let me tell you, that would have been way too expensive for an advent calendar. Are you kidding me? Either way too expensive or really, like, cheap quality that I would not want to use in that kind of setting. If you didn't hear what he said that my advent calendar was, then good. This is an adult stream for grown-ups, but honestly, sweetheart. Tisk tisk. Anywho, can I kind of flick it? Does anything happen if I just, like, flick it? I think if I flick it, mostly it just sort of ends up on my fingy. Anyways, hi, sunshine. But yes, I got a tea advent calendar again, which is what I've been doing is sort of like, you know, a yearly custom, which has morphed into an annual tradition, for me over the last few years. But I was kind of deliberating about whether or not I wanted to do it again this year. I was honestly kind of like, I don't know. And part of the reason for that is that I didn't finish all of the teas in my tea advent calendar last year. I would just sort of like, I would open the box, look at it, and be like, maybe. And sometimes I just wouldn't drink the tea of that day. But the reason for that was that I wasn't feeling very well last December. And so I was being kind of selective in the teas. I was drinking a lot of, like, lemon and ginger tea because I was like, I don't know if other things are going to upset my tummy because I'm feeling very, very unwell at the moment. I'm feeling significantly better this time, so I can drink whatever tea I want and probably be okay. Unless it has superfoods in it that specifically are, like, contraindicated for me, which some of them do, which is really annoying. Why would you put mushrooms in your tea? Why would you do that? I'm allergic to mushies. Do not want. Anyway, but yeah, fun stuff. I'm gonna finish putting stars in the sky if I can. It's all just kind of the thing about this masking fluid is there comes a point where it's just kind of like just ends up more or less sticking to itself. Well, great. Now I've just sort of smudged masking fluid onto the paper rather than splat. And some of the splat is going outside of the field that I mean to paint on, but that's okay. That's fine. That's not a problem. I can just peel it off when it dries. And same with any little splodges that I'm not feeling look like they're gonna look like little stars, because these are gonna be little stars in the sky. Isn't that presh? Isn't that presh? So I'm trying to cultivate the vibe of randomness, but it feels like they're kind of being concentrated in like one area, and I'm not sure that's really gonna work. Anyways, I hope whoever's watching the Lego live stream or has watched the Lego live stream is having or did have a nice time. I wish they wouldn't schedule these things at the same time, that they know that I'm streaming. It's not fair. Oh yeah, they were doing a live stream to launch the Lego Star Trek set with guest star Jonathan Frakes.
Good, I hope everybody's bitching about the fact that it's expensive and the stupid fucking gift in purchase thing.
I am annoyed that you can only get the gift with purchase.
I have the entire chat is ringing into it for being so shit.
As a gift with purchase. Well, don't blame Frakes for that. It wasn't his decision.
It's obviously Certis' fault.
I don't think Marina Sirtis has anything to do with the pricing of Lego sets, my love. Unless she like works for the Lego company in ways that I'm not aware, and I mean it's possible. I don't know what she does when she's not acting. I hear she's nice, but anyways. I think that's probably enough stars. I don't know. Hopefully it's fine. But I still don't really know what I'm doing with it. I will extricate the stars that have manifested in places where there aren't supposed to be stars. And then we will attempt to paint in a happy little night sky. Anyways, but that's that. Okay, I might set this to one side, and we might actually just do some painting on this one. Because I haven't painted anything yet this stream, and that feels bad. I feel like I have a slightly stronger idea, kind of what I want to do with this piece anyways. So I might be able to just kind of make a start with that. There we go. Just get rid of that masking fluid and hope that the paper is fine. Yay! The only thing being, so I've had issues with this camera with the way that it kind of manifests like brightness and stuff. And I did attempt to mess with that today to try and improve it. And what I learned was basically what I knew from the last time I tried to do it and then forgot, which is that if I set the exposure to manual exposure so that it doesn't just like just change itself to like do whatever the hell it wants, which is what it is now, because this is the brightness, this is the brightness, like it does a little shifting. If I set it to manual exposure so the exposure stays the same no matter what, for some reason, instead of having like nice smooth movements of like my hands and stuff, I get these weird, like it goes to about, I don't know, 9 frames a minute. Maybe not 9 frames a minute, but definitely like 9 frames a second. It looks really stilted and kind of impressionistic and weird in ways that I don't think are pleasant to watch, and I would not wish to subject you to. I don't know why it does this. I don't know if it's just taking like significantly more processing power or something to have camera, what are you doing? I don't know if it takes like significantly more processing power or something to have my like exposure just set to one manual level rather than having it change depending on what's on screen. I don't think that should be the case, but who knows? Anyways, I'm just going to try and make this somewhat more symmetrical, so it comes down to about here. So if I kind of round it down to like there. Yeah, I think that looks okay. I just noticed that the two sides of the handle were quite asymmetrical, and that was going to bother me if I didn't fix it. I wanted this to be one of those teapots that has like the handle where like the bit that you grasp is made out of wood, so it doesn't get, you know, uncomfortably warm, but this is one that you put on like a flame, as opposed to like an electric kettle, which is why it has one of these graspy handles. That is importante. Anyways, but I don't know what wants to go in here. So I might start with trying to figure out what colors I want the actual, like, potto to be. And I think probably, like, a brownish kind of vibe makes sense, I think. So I'm gonna try and put together, like, a brownish sort of vibe. And I'm going to actually, oh my god, my paintbrush is wet. We're only like an hour and a half into stream and my paintbrush is wet. Yay! Good job, me. Amazing. Anyways, this is our Tundra Orange, I think. And I think, honestly, in and of itself, Tundra Orange has a pretty good sort of vibe, that's close to what we're after. But I think I might try adding a little bit of desert yellow to it. These colors, so what's neat about these paints is that these paints are all, like, blends of, like, at least 2 different pigments that they've combined together. And that gives them, it gives you a nice dimension to your color, especially if you do sort of, like, wet into, I'm just painting on dry paper, obviously, but if you do, like, a wet into wet sort of wash with it, it can give really interesting effects, like with the pigments separating out, because different pigments have different sizes and weights to them. Some pigments will kind of, you know, sort of sit on the surface, and some will kind of, like, sink into the little, like, especially when you're using a cold pressed or a rough surfaced paper. Some of the pigments will sort of, like, really kind of sink into all the little, like, nooks and crannies of the paper texture, whereas some will kind of just sort of, like, sit on top of that. And so you can get some really nice just sort of inbuilt textural effects, and I think that can be quite useful and quite effective for creating different textures, creating different, you know, parts of your scene. And just giving it that bit of visual interest and dimension without really having had to do too much It just kind of, it's a nice shorthand. if that is the word I seek, it is a nice shorthand, I think. Or a nice shortcut, maybe. Maybe shortcut is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I'm into it. I would like this to be a little bit more saturated, though, because that's looking pretty, it's looking pretty pale. So I'm feeling impatient, so I'm just gonna blob more paint on while it's still wet. There we go. Yay! I painted something. Hurrah! I realize I don't know if the stream dying also kicked most of the viewers out, which is, man, I was gonna make a big announcement. And then the stream did a little breakage, and I think potentially a lot of people left. So I don't really know if there's any point in doing an announcement now, because there's nobody here to get excited about it. So I guess what I will say is watch this space, and maybe I'll make an announcement on tomorrow's Silksong stream. Yay! Announcement! I'm here for announcements, says Pigeon. Okay. One person is here. Also, hi, Pigeon. It's lovely to see you. Welcome on in. The announcement is basically that older viewers may remember, I painted a Hornet Silksong a little while ago in the style of, like, a medieval illuminated manuscript, right? I posted it to I posted it online yesterday, the finished piece, which I'm awfully fond of. Hold up. I have picture of it for you. But the important thing to note is that this is an illuminated piece, which means that parts of it are painted in gold. And it looks like this. And the trouble with trying to show and share artworks that are painted with gold on, you know, computer screens, on apps, on websites, that kind of thing, is that it flattens down the shiny goldness. Like, scanning it in flattens it down. Taking a static photo flattens it down. I can tell you that the bits that are like yellow here are metallic gold, and they look like, you know, they've been overlaid with gold in real life, and they look real shiny and pretty. The only way I can demonstrate it properly is to do like little videos like this where I'm like, you know, look at it shine, look at it being all shimmery and shiny and gold and beautiful. So that's exactly what I did. Hello, Ernesto. Happy Thursday to you too. Welcome on in. I hope you're having a good one. Anyway, so that's that. That's the piece that I painted. And I had a couple people ask if I was going to do an art print of it. And I was like, I would love to, but I don't really know how. I do have like a foiled art print that I did from a manufactory. I got printed from like a manufactory of print a while back for another Hollow Knight art piece that I did. And it was foiled. So they apply like gold foil to the areas that you want to be gold. And I thought it turned out really, really nice. It's really cute, and it's, you know, like, obviously it's very shiny, and it's a cool effect, and it was very fun as a piece. Unfortunately, two things. Number one, it was very expensive to get that done for me personally, the artist. Number two, it's very important to me that the Hollow Knight art that I produce is very limited run. Not because, like, I hate making money as an artist. I love making money as an artist. I would like to be able to pay the bills and buy new art supplies and feed myself. But because Team Cherry are so lovely in being very, like, transparent about when and how they are totally cool with people producing fan works and selling them for money, I want to be as respectful of their wishes in this as I can, and the best way I feel like I can do that is to do art prints, but limited runs of art prints. So, for me, that's usually like 6 prints, you know, and that's it. That's all that's ever going to get produced of that piece of art. Once they sell out, and then they're gone. And that's worked pretty well, and I've had a nice time with it. But the manufactory that did the foiled art prints, and it was a real faff in like Photoshop trying to get like the sort of foiling and stuff right as well. The smallest amount that I could get from them was 25. They sent me 75 prints. They sent me 75 prints, and it was not cheap. I'm never going to sell out of these. And, yeah, so I didn't want to use that printer again, but, the printer that I normally get my prints done from, wow, this anxious pigeon. Yeah, I know, pigeon. I know. It's wild. Anyways, I'm going to take a sip of my tea. Thank you for the hydrate, Q2s. Yeah, I'm getting a nice warming sort of gingeriness from this tea. It's very comforting. I'm into it. I'm going to see if I can make it just brewed in like oat milk, because I think that would be really comforting. But I don't like when I try and make like a chai or something like that, and and it ends up not brewing strong enough. Like, no matter how long I let it sit, it's not developing enough flavor, and that does happen sometimes where I just end up with like hot cinnamon milk. It's like, okay, well that tastes like sweet nothing. Great. It's not what I wanted. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so the printer that I use for like my usual gubbins, like that I get like my stickers and stuff done with, because I can't afford like to have a printer to be able to do the stuff in house. So I do use a printer that are very, their practices are very like environmentally friendly. They use a lot of like recycled papers and that kind of thing, and I absolutely love it. And their papers are gorgeous as well. Like for instance, this sticker of a design that I did a while back that sold out as a print, so I decided to bring it back as a sticker. This is coming in the next shop update, which is going to be tomorrow probably. Anyways, but they do have a service where they can like print with metallic ink, but I am unable to give them the file type that they need to print with metallic ink with the archaic version of Photoshop that I use, and I do not have a more recent version of Photoshop that I can use, and I was not able to do it with like the free version of photo editing software that I have access to online. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna try something else, and so I did a little test run with an item that I had printed by them previously just to see whether or not this would actually work correctly. And I am so happy to say that I've done a print of the medieval hornet artwork, and if you notice that it looks a little bit shiny, that's because it's hand painted. This is not the original artwork, this is a print, but I painted onto it with gold paint. And I've tested it for like, durability and stuff. And yeah, it sticks. It sticks real good, Treat it like you would any artwork, obviously. Like, don't spill things on it and, like, keep it relatively safe. But it is, in fact, a shiny gold, hand-finished, limited edition Silk Song art print of Medieval Hornet that is illuminated. So what that means is that in the next shop update, which is probably dropping tomorrow, there will be a limited edition Blue Raspberry Fight Milk Hollow Knight Silk Song art print of medieval little gremlin hornet, and you can get it in shiny edition. I will also have the like vanilla version available for sale, because obviously if I'm taking the time to painstakingly hand paint this in gold, it is going to be more expensive. And I am mindful of that, and some people might just prefer that it isn't sparkly, and that's fine too. So there's going to be the more expensive, like, luxury range hand embellished piece, and also the vanilla version, which also looks great. So, like, it's not worse or bad by any stretch. It still looks as cute. It's just a matter of, like, would you prefer the shiny version or the this version? Like, it's all good. Anyways, so both options will be available, and it is strictly because of the amount that I was able to get printed of these, it will be strictly limited to a quantity of 12 in its entirety. So these will be these will be hand painted to order. So if 12 people all want the vanilla version, then I just don't have to do any. And if 12 people want the hand painted version, then I'm going to be sitting here watching a lot of episodes of Lower Decks, and painting them gold. Anyways, yeah, so that's it. That's the announcement. I'm sorry that I waffled on so much to get to it, but honestly, I'm pretty pumped. I think that it looks really cute. I really hope that y'all think that it looks cute. And I think it's genuinely like a fun thing to do with it as well. If people seem to like this, it might be something that I do with other additional works in the future, because I do have quite a lot of shiny paints. I have 6 different shades of gold and silver, or, well, technically it's white gold, but I mean, it works as a silvery, as well as, I think, 3 duochrome paints. I've got sort of like an oceanic color, which is sort of like teal with gold sparkles. I have Violent Fantasy, which is like white with purple sparkles, and then I have Cactus Flower, which is kind of a pink that's sparkly. Anyways, my moderator / Mess has been staring at me for God knows how long. Let me just check in with him. What's up, babe? Yeah. I remember. Okay. I was gonna do it tomorrow, but okay, I'll announce it now. In addition, programming note. In addition, programming note, I will not be streaming next Friday, because I will not be in my house. So, apologies in advance for that. But I'm okay, thank you. Hello, Sammy Ann, welcome in time for shiny paints. Sammy Ann, did you see? This is an art print that I painted with gold. And honestly, it looks so good. Like, the gold looks so good on top of the art print. I'm very pleased with this. I don't know, I hope people like it. It is that time of year when we artists who, you know, try to recoup the amount of money that we have to spend on art supplies and stuff, and pay the bills and live, are supposed to be like, you know, hey, I have a shop, and, hey, how about these here stickers and whatever's Black Friday sales. I'm bad at this. I'm always really bad at this. I'm terrible at planning ahead and like getting the kinds of things that should go in like a holiday season shop update done in time to get ready for a holiday season shop update, because like really you should be starting to think about this kind of thing in August, and when it's August I'm like, no. It's August. So I'm winding down the last of my summer vacay. You know, I might be, if I'm lucky, I might get to, I don't know, spend a couple days in Amsterdam, or like go camping with my in-laws or whatever. And then I'm thinking about Halloween is coming. And I'm not ready to think about the holidays until Halloween is done and truly dusted. And I'm still in Halloween mode, damn it. So this is a struggle for me every year. My brain is a rules lawyer about schedules sometimes, and that's a big one for me. Anyways, hi Sunshine, what's up?
I know, programming note. I love you.
Aw, I love you too, sweetie. Programming note, my moderator / spouse loves me. Why yes, I know that time of year well, says Sammy Ann. It's I'm so bad at it. My moderator / spouse actually suggested that I should take like December and that kind of time, make all of my holiday stuff for the following year then, and then just hold on to it. But the problem with that is that if my artwork isn't fresh, a lot of the time, you know, I've sort of like, I've shifted a bit, I've developed a bit, I've moved on, I'm like, I want to work on and think about other stuff. So by that time, if I wait like almost a year to like release that stuff, I've been sort of like, it's just been sort of hovering there that whole time, and I'm just like, I just don't think it's that good anymore. I feel like I could do something better if I did it now, you know what I mean? So that's a struggle for me. Anyways, if you're curious as to the other bits besides that print that will be forthcoming, we have the paper drake, but this time it's a sticker, because people really liked this design. It sold out as a print. And I thought it'd be nice to bring it back as a sticker in case this is something that people might want to, I don't know, stick on the back of like their tablet that they read ebooks on to make it feel a little bit more literary / academia-y, and what have you, or, you know, wherever you want. And also this piece, which I shared. This is one of my favorite things I've done recently. I don't know, I just love them. They're holding hands, and they're very good friends. And that's important to me. And then there's one additional sticker. It's actually this art is from a while ago. I just did this in my sketchbook, but this is Fredward, and he's my favorite. I hope that you like Fredward. Just short for Froggy Edward, obviously. And he also is a sticker. Anyways, so that's that. And additionally, you'll be shocked to know that this piece, it was a long boy. So I was going to make it into a bookmark if I liked it. And I liked it fine, and so I decided that it should be a bookmark. So we have a bookmark. This feels nice and sort of autumny, wintry, I hope you agree, of our little gnome husbands who are in love with each other and having a nice cozy time. And also, again, just, I don't know, do the academia people like me? I don't know. I like them, so here are some more books. And importantly also, obviously, Would you focus? Would autofocus? Hello? Hello? Just let's look at the light wants to shine because these have a slightly glossy finish, which is quite nice. It's not like super shiny, but it does have a little bit of a shine to it. But that is our little Ruru, our little owl, also known as a moorpork, which is such a weird name for a bird, but okay. And then crowberry jam, because I'm not sure if people like I couldn't figure out if people like things on like creatures on stacks of books, or people like birds perched on things. And so I decided to do a creature on a stack of books and also a bird perched on a thing. I recently did a print of a bird perched on a stack of books, and people really seemed to like that. So I was wondering if people would also like birds perched on other things, like this jar of jam. And this is a hooded crow, and it's crowberries. So that's that. That's the update. And it will be dropping hopefully tomorrow, or possibly, you know what, to be honest, I'll probably technically be dropping tonight, but it will be officially announced as having been dropped tomorrow. So if you want to get in on that, like, super early, I'll probably pop a discreet announcement on my Discord when that stuff actually goes live. But not actually announce it, like, on socials and Twitch and what have you until tomorrow. So that's that. Anyways. Yay! That was the announcement. Well, that ended up being more of an announcement than it was meant to be. Because it was really supposed to be an announcement about the shiny print, which honestly also really fun to do, it turns out. Very, very, very fun to do, just putting gold paint on top of art prints. So that's nice. Anyways, I don't think I'm convinced by this tea. This is my first time, having this pear flavored tea. I think I don't love... It doesn't taste like pear, but it has sort of a sweetness that's kind of in that vicinity, but I wouldn't say that it's pear. It tastes of pear to me. I don't know. Scents and flavors are really interesting. If you think about it, like... I was thinking recently about how we tend to associate, like, the description of, like, a powdery or a dusty perfume. If something smells powdery, because when you think of, like, what does powder smell like? What does dust smell like? Well, but in terms of, like, if I smell a perfume and I'm like, wow, this has, like, a real powdery dustiness to it, it probably has iris and or violet in it, which are fragrances that we associate with being powdery, dusty fragrances. Which isn't a bad thing, by the way. Like, a lot of people really like a powdery smell. I mean, if you think of baby powder, but that's why we think of iris and violet as being powdery scents. Like, if you get a perfume and you're like, wow, this is a very powdery scented perfume, it's because iris and violet are traditionally what baby powder fragrance is made from. And I find that really interesting because I have a perfume that has been in production since, like, the mid-1800s, and it was created as a fragrance for men, that was specifically to invoke the fragrances of, like, the botanicals that would be used at this, like, Turkish spa that was near the perfumery's shop in London. And it smells like basically spiced baby powder to me. Like, very much so. Why? Because it includes a significant portion of iris and violet, which we now associate with baby powder. But they didn't in the mid-1800s, so it was just like a nice aromatic scent for men. I was expecting it to smell very differently to what it actually ended up smelling like. And it's because of the iris and violet that just, to me, was just like, spiced baby powder. Interesting. I don't dislike it, but it's not something that I'd wear very often because it was just like, yep, spiced baby powder. Interestingly, the other fragrance that I got from the same perfume house, which is now discontinued, but it came out in like 1910. And again, it was just sort of like, you know, sort of a nice, this is like a fresh fern kind of smell for gentlemen. And I was like, okay, I'm intrigued. And it smells like soap. If you conjure like generic soap smell in your mind, it's this perfume. But it's because the fragrance sort of the combination of like ingredients that they use to arrive at this fragrance is part of a family that I think then went on to become a very popular fragrance type for soap. So now I'm just like, that smells soapy. Not that that's because intrinsically that's what soap smells like, but because like the prototypical soap in my head smells like that, because it's a very popular set of fragrances used in combination with each other to arrive at soap. There's like moss and lavender and a couple other things in it. Anyways, that's me getting nerdy about perfumery. Also, does anyone else find that when they wear something that it turns out has myrrh in it? Because I tried a perfume sample yesterday that I didn't realize had myrrh in it until I got an overwhelming waft of burnt rubber on my wrists. I want to like these like incensey perfumes, and sometimes I do, but damn, sometimes if there's a lot of myrrh in it, it just makes me smell like burnt rubber, which I don't think is pleasant. Isn't that weird? I don't know. I feel like that's weird. But I'll be honest, I've never had that experience as Pigeon. Well, I think that's the thing as well, is that like skin chemistry really impacts how fragrances will smell on you. And apparently I have a chemistry that makes myrrh smell like burnt rubber. Yay! Love that for me. Oh no. Anyways, I'm gonna take a sip of my tea. I really need to decide what I want to do with the color of this teapot. I feel like it wants to be like, do I want to Pigeon?
Anxious Pigeon 1 cheered. X20 for Burnt Rubber's Army.
Thank you so much for the 20 biddies. That's incredibly kind and sweet. Thank you, thank you. Oh my goodness gracious. I know not what I've done to deserve it, but I do appreciate it very much. Very much indeed I do. Indeed, indeed. I don't know. I feel like I kind of want to put... Do I want to put like a little sort of like motif onto this? Because I feel if it's just a solid color, is that going to be really boring? Like, is that not going to be super interesting to look at? I don't know. I don't. So I'm having a time trying to decide on that. And maybe like a gradient, because there's going to be like a whole little landscape happening up there. So maybe we could get away with like a gradient, or maybe even just like a little contrasting stripe or something. Like it doesn't need to be overcomplicated. I think a nice muted blue-green would look wonderful. I have the very thing here, and it is Shire Blue. So what if we were to do that? Okay. All right. Okay. Before I do that, I'm going to get rid of the bits of masking fluid where I don't want masking fluid to be on this painting. Though that being said, everything that's not the like teapot and the bizarre conceptual steam rising from them are just going to be white anyways. I don't think I'm doing a colorful background for these, or maybe I will. I don't know. Depends on how it looks at the end. Again, we can always just kind of mess around with things. Something got on this paper over here, and I haven't been able to like erase it away. So that might be a case of fix it in post. Is it gone? Is it gone now? Maybe it's gone. Maybe it's gone. That would be nice. No, some of it's still there. There's just, I don't know, some schmutz got on this paper, but I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I might do a nice sort of a blue-green gradient, I think could work quite nicely. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to pre-wet this one and also the deep sea violet, which is kind of a bluey violet, and I might sort of gradient them into each other. And in order to do that, first of all, I am going to pre-dampen my area. Forgetting words there for a second. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Wizard. Because it is definitely the case that the more, if you paint into like a pre-dampened surface, you're going to get more like granulation from your paintings, which is still, this is about to become my ideal kettle, says Pigeon. Hopefully I'll be able to do it justice with these colors. We'll see. It is very pretty. So I think I might start up here. I mean, they call this blue, but it's so clearly teal. It's blatantly teal. What the heck, Schminke? But there are just colors like that sometimes. Where I'm just like, how did it get this name? Like, who saw this and thought, yes, that is the color that this is, because it's blatantly not that. What are you doing? I don't know. But what it is a gorgeous color, which is why I bought it. So, you know, I'm also not super bothered by that, because it is heckin' delightful. Okay. We are kind of gradienting down into a somewhat different shade of blue. If I just kind of attempt to fade that up into the other one, hopefully I can get an okay blend here in the middle. Actually, I think that's worked quite effectively. I think that looks quite nice. Pre-damping your area, says Pigeon. I said what I said. I don't know how else to word it. You know what I mean. Anyway. You know what I mean. Some color names are wild. In the pan, that paint looks brown, but when you swatch it out, it's purple blue. Yep. That is some wizardry that I really enjoy. Ooh, do you want to see one of my favorites? One of my absolute favorites for things crazy swatching? Because we can have a look at that while this is drying. I think that looks really nice. I like the colors of that. I think once it's got some line weight on it, it'll look quite pleasant. Anywho, in the meantime, one moment, please. Okay. So I don't use these paints very often because, to be honest, I'm not very good at using them. My skill with these color sheets is existent, but not incredible. I've had mixed results. They are incredibly vibrant and very pigmented. Very bright, very transparent colors, which is very, very fun. But what I want to specifically show you is peacock blue here. You notice it's got sort of this like red violet sheen to it, right? So it has this red violet sheen, and I just want you to see this is this. That looks completely red, says Pigeon. I know. And yet, you swatch it out, It's this. I tell you what, let me show you. Let me grab somewhere in here. I have an available brush. Here we go. Let's use this one. A nice sort of utility brush. I have wetted my brush. I'm going to dip into our peacock blue, and I'm just going to paint a little line here. Y'all. I don't know what kind of chemistry is going on here. I don't know what causes this effect. I don't know what causes it to dry down with this like violet red tone and then turn into a very like bright, honestly fairly cool. That's not even like a warm toned blue. This is a warmer toned blue than this. What? If someone understands the chemistry behind this, I would be fascinated to learn about it, but I genuinely have not the foggiest. The other one, very similarly, is this. Persian blue, honestly, not mega different. It's a little bit more violet here than here, but this is violet. Now tell me this doesn't look like greenish gold to you, because to me this looks like greenish gold, and it's reading pretty accurately on camera. Again, this is this. How? I will once again do a little swatchy swatch of our violet watercolor. Like, y'all, that's just perp. That is just straight up purple. Why, when the pigment is fully dry, does it look like greenish gold? And then when you put it onto a canvas, it goes purple. I don't know. I do not understand what sorcery is taking place to make that happen. How yellow make purple, says Pigeon. I don't know. I do not know. It is wild. Like, I know that oftentimes, like, you know, paints are made up of potentially more than one pigment that are combined together to create, you know, sort of like the color that you want. And you can usually find out what pigments are used to create the colors that you are painting with, depending on the manufacturer. But if you're getting, like, say, just tubes of watercolor paint, it should tell you, for instance, let me find you an example if I can. Is there an example? No. Okay, let me find you an example if I can. I've definitely got some somewhere here, but they might be a load-bearing part of my pile of supplies and paper that is sitting next to me here. So hold up, hold. Let me just move both of these little boxes for just a second, and hope that doesn't collapse. Okay, so that's some alchemy shenanigans, says Pigeon. Yeah, I completely agree. So for instance, this is Mars Black, and if I look at this little tube, I can find out that it is made up of PBK11. That is the pigment that makes up Mars Black. Whereas, let's take, this is Viridian, and Viridian is made up of PG18. That's pigment green number 18. But some pigments, or some paints rather, are made up of more than one pigment, like our super granulations up here. So I can tell you, for instance, that Galaxy Pink, which is this one over here, is comprised of PV16, that's pigment violet 16, and PBR33, that's pigment brown 33. I'm pretty sure PBR33 is, I don't have all of these memorized, I don't have most of these memorized, but I'm pretty sure that PBR33 is Potter's Pink, which is a very highly granulating pigment, but it's not the most saturated color in and of itself, but it blends very well with other ones to create interesting blends if you use it in the right concentration. But that kind of thing. So it's possible that the weird, like, greenish gold looking violet is somehow, like, there's a greenish gold pigment that is part of it that's contributing to the color in some way, but it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like there's any separation or granulation going on there. So I'm thinking there must be something different chemically happening with those pigments or pigment that's used to make it. I have no idea. Absolutely no idea how or why it be like that. It's fascinating and deeply confusing to me. Anyways, so that's some pigment nerdery. Speaking of, I want to do some like another just set of, I blend some colors together. I've got some paint pans here. But I don't know if that's interesting for people to watch, to like watch me swatching things and blending stuff together. Also, I have, this isn't even genuine quinacridone gold because it's sold out and it's really hard to find and they don't make it anymore. But this is a quinacridone gold that contains another color that I'm pretty sure is also discontinued. So I'm hoarding this. Like, I should just paint with it. It's a beautiful color, but I'm scared to paint with it. But basically I want to do a set where the anchor color is raw umber. I bought a big tube of raw umber with which to do this. But I effed up and I bought gouache instead of watercolor by mistake. So now I have to buy some gouache paints with which to use that. And that's why I can't buy the Star Trek set, because I can't afford to buy a Star Trek set and gouache paints. I can't afford to buy the Star Trek set anyways. It's too expensive. I wish they made a little one. Anyways, we're about to go into a BRB, so I will be right back. Thank you so much for sticking around. I will see you very, very shortly. And BRB! Hi everybody, I'm back. I was just talking about Star Trek Lego with my husband. Sorry about that. Hi. So yeah, I've learned some things about the Star Trek Lego set that we were yelling about at the top of stream. Namely that apparently a lot of it is comprised of stickers, as opposed to like printed onto the Lego pieces, which feels like it's not going to look as good. And my moderator / spouse isn't feeling it, especially for the amount of money that it costs. And I would kind of agree with that. I just wish it was a smaller set, because, like, I don't have anywhere I can put a giant ship, and I also don't really care about the ship build. I want the little figurines, and I want a little diorama that I can put them in. I can have, like, oh no, they've just been hit by a phaser blast, and everyone's, like, falling over and stuff. You know, like, put some little red alert, like, fairy lights in there. I think that would be super stinking cute. Or, you know, like, geez, we're in 10 forward and Guinan's giving some, you know, sage advice to Worf and pouring him a prune juice, and, you know, Wesley's over there being nervous about talking to girls, and I don't know, his mom's probably tutting about that because he's only 9 years old, damn it. Even though he's like 17 and still wears such unflattering jumpers. Anyways, 1 second. Hello, moderator / spouse? So, 1 second. What did you say? I would be fine with that. He says maybe we'll get a minifig collection. If we got a minifig collection, I would get every single ding dang one. Are you kidding me? That would be amazing. That would be amazing. I would be into that. But oh boy. Oh boy. Anyways, so that's that. We have painted a teapot. Hooray! We did it. We can go home now. No, but seriously. I haven't really fully fleshed out what I want to do with this cloud bit, so I think I might come back to it and we can paint. Let's just paint in the mucka pot. Let's just paint in this mucka pot. That should be fairly straightforward to do. It's a mucka pot, and mucka pots are metallic color, so what I intended to do with it was basically to take, I've got a bit of neutral tint here. These days I've been keeping a permanent blobbit of neutral tint on my palette, and I'm gonna add some of this violet to it, I think. Just so it's not, just to give a little bit of a dimension to the gray, so it's not just like there is no color to this, like an absence of color, but just, you know, make it a slightly more interesting gray. Because I think that would be nice. I think that would be a nice thing to do. Hopefully I haven't made it too overly purple, but it's, you know, if there's a little bit of color to this maca pot, like, is that such a bad thing? I don't think it is. I think that's fine. But let's just pre-dampen the area again. There's still a little bit of pigment hanging out on my brush, and to be honest, the maca pot doesn't want to be too darkly colored in anyway, so we'll probably do fairly light go over top of this, except for the little knobbly bit on the top and the handle, which traditionally would be black, so I will darken those down quite a bit more than the everything else of it all. That's fine. Anyways, but yeah, maybe next Monday we'll mix up what I am affectionately referring to as my frog and toad palette, because having done a little test run previously of the colors, and how the colors turn out when I take a representative rainbow of watercolors and blend them all up with, raw umber. Oh, biddle boy, it is very frog and toad coded in terms of color scheme. If you've ever seen Frog and Toad book, you know what I'm talking about color-wise, probably. And it is a very cozy colorway, I think. So I think it'll make a nice palette for doing some very cozy artworks. And I would like to get to play with that. I think that would be nice. Anyways. Okay, there are some areas of this maca pot, obviously, that are going to need some shading beyond the this. I love a frog and toad color scheme, says Pigeon. Right? It's just so cozy. I can get some. Let me find some images of frog and toad just in case there's anyone. No, I don't want to open my Xbox app. Damn it! Wrong window. No, go away. I follow Frog and Toadbot on Blue Sky. So let me just pull up my Blue Sky profile, and we'll find the most recent Frog and Toad post that I shared on my on mine. Probably a couple days ago. Yeah, there we go. Okay. The Frog and Toad color scheme, which at least one person in the chat recognizes, and I do appreciate that, yay, looks a little bit like this. So it's very like green and brown and kind of in the vicinity of that. It's very, I mean, Toad on the left there is already basically just like sort of umber colored. And then you've got Frog, who is like a lovely shade of green. So it's very warm, it's very green brown, it's very like crunchy autumn leaves and like the last sort of grasses and ferns and ivy and that kind of thing. Like those kinds of colors. Oh my god, I love these amphibious silly billies, says Pigeon. I love it. Honestly, Frog and Toadbot is one of my very favorite accounts that I follow on Blue Sky. It's so good. It just posts like a random selection of like Frog and Toad illustrations and like chunks of stories. There's no necessary sort of like context to them, but it's just nice to see, like, here's Toad having a meltdown, which honestly, this is not the best way to deal with a meltdown, but sometimes you can't help it. And I hope that Frog is there to support him so he stops hurting himself. I don't actually know the context of Toad banging his head against the wall here because I don't remember, but here they are. The Frog is looking for Toad's lost buttons, apparently. Very cute. I love their little jackets. I love their little trousers. It's just so stinking cute. Frog and Toad were caught in the rain. They ran to Frog's house. I love it. I love it so much. Look at... There's Toad doing some theater. Looking very fancy. I don't know what play this is, but shut up, screamed Toad. Frog, Frog, where have you gone? I love him. He's so stinking cute. Anyways, yeah, if you're not following Frog and Toadbot, wholeheartedly do recommend. This is just an illustration of some rocks, but man, what a great illustration of some rocks. I love it. I love the illustrations of Frog and Toad. They are delightful. Like, hi. Now I'm just enthusing over the literary and illustrated works of Arnold Lobel, or Arnold Lobel. I don't know how you pronounced his name. But just a couple of little sweet gay Frog and Toad dudes being adorable. And it makes me very happy. It's very wholesome, silly little stories of a couple of little dudes who live in their little cottages and are very cute. Anyways. And they love each other very much. The end. I think... I don't know. I feel like it makes more sense for this, like... And you are right, they're definitely married, says Pigeon. Oh, they are definitely married. I think it wasn't until later in life that the author, Arnold Lobel... I think it's pronounced Arnold Lobel. I'm so sorry if it's not. But it wasn't until later in life that he came out. But he definitely did... model Frog and Toad off of, like, a gay couple. He didn't tell his publishers that, because these were, like, wholesome little stories for kids, and this was, like, the 70s, and that probably would have been, a little bit... He might have had a lot more pushback about it. But yes, he absolutely did. And we love that. And, yeah. Anyways. So Frog and Toad. Delightful, adorable, wonderful, and gay. Yay! We love to see it. Anywho, I think I do want this to be, like, night sky-y. I don't know. Should I stick a little moon in here someplace? Should I masking fluid in, like, a little crescent moon or something? Would that be cute? Or should it just be, like, space? Should it be, like, a nebula? I don't know. I just really want to establish the idea that, like, this is coffee. This is an after-dinner coffee. This is a nighttime coffee. This is coffee for people with ADHD who can drink coffee at bedtime and still go to sleep. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Let's masking fluid in a crescent moon. I'm not sure where to put... I think maybe... Do I want to put it over on this side or do I want to put... I'm trying to think about the composition. Me, says Pigeon. I'm drinking a cola right now to unwind. Yeah, you get it. This is a black tea with coffee in it. It's 7 p.m. And I don't consider this to be dangerous because I know I will sleep tonight. It's fine. Anyways. Listen, everyone's brain chemistry is different. And this is how mine runs. I think maybe over here. I'm just gonna plop in a little, probably extremely inaccurate. I made that crescent moon way too thick. I definitely made that crescent moon way too thick. Ah, shoot. Okay, I'm gonna have to pull a little bit of, paint back out, or not paint, but masking fluid back out of that crescent moon once it's dried, I think. Oh no, that's gonna be tricky, but whatever. I'll snuggle my pupper later and be snoring in no time, says Pigeon. See, exactly, you get it. It's this idea that caffeine has, like, a focus enhancing effect on certain neurotypes. It's me. To the extent that, I mean, like, the medications that they give to people with ADHD to help them focus, by and large, stimulants. What's caffeine? It's stimulant. So, helps you focus. sometimes helps you focus on getting to sleep. And I find that the, like, keep me awake powers of coffee are definitely overridden by the, cozy properties of, like, a warm beverage with milk in it, you know? So, that's how it works for me. So wild to think that a stimulant would cure a focus problem. I don't know how they figured out that that was the case. But, yeah, apparently. But I mean, a lot of things, it's really, like, the way that medicine works is wacky. You know, there are a lot of medicines that are created with one specific end in mind, being like, you know, okay, we're creating this medicine with the intention of using it to treat seizures, let's say, and then they find out that for some reason this anti-seizure medication also really helps people with diabetes. That wasn't the intended therapeutic effect. It just so happens that it also helps people with diabetes, or it helps to, I don't know, it helps to prevent bone loss, or so, like, just wacky stuff. Medical research is wacky, is my point. Maybe they saw how caffeine was behaving in their system and pursued it further. Maybe. Because it's rare that caffeine just makes me, like, awake and shaky or anything like that. If I drink just way stupid too many lattes, I will get anxious. But other than that, meh. That's fine. But that's probably just because I drank way stupid too many. Which I shouldn't have done. Anyways, I'm trying to peel a little bit of this moon, but now I'm peeling too much of the moon. Oh no. Oh no. Oh heck. Okay. I have peeled too much of the moon, so I have to put more gubbins on. I used to drink energy drinks and they did nothing except give me heart palpitations. I don't have them anymore. Yeah, I feel like energy drinks, I feel like can feel dangerous. I know some people are fine with them, but I feel like they can be dangerous. Because of things like the heart palpies. The palpitinis. Which is not so much fun. But I'm glad you recognize that this is doing something that my body doesn't like and then stopped consuming them. Is the right answer. Okay, I feel like that's more of a crescent moon shape, I think. It's hard to see on camera, but trust me, it's more of a crescent moon shape. I did not get a lot of art done today. So I'm going to be wrapping up fairly soon and going to make a salad for dinner. I'm making a salad for dinner, by the way. It's going to be, you know, sort of that autumnal salad vibe where I use my fancy schmancy new, I call it fancy schmancy, it costs £5. My fancy schmancy new cheese planer, which is, you know, like one of those things that you use to do like lovely sort of thin slices of cheese, and slice some apples in with like a balsamic vinaigrette, and it's going to be very just autumnal. I feel like this time of year I want a salad that has like nice dark like baby greens and a variety of them with a bit of some kind of seasonal fruit or vegetable like apple or like roasted squash is really nice, and a bit of a nice mature cheese. Yeah, that's the kind of salad that I want this time of year. I find it very cozy, but it's still salad because I still very much crave for some weird reason my body just craves like vegetables. Isn't that wacky? Anyways, is this dry yet? I'm being very impatient with the dryness of this. It's not, it's not fully dry. I can't get it wet until it's fully dry, so I'm gonna need to give that a minute. I'm so sorry, chat. I know, right? Says Pigeon. Yeah, genuinely. Like, sometimes you just want a really nice salad. Imagine the human body craving nutrients. Yeah, isn't that wild? I wonder what nutrients my body is craving when I'm craving, like, gummy sweets. No, I know, that's more of a texture. I've been trying to wean myself off of like craving gummy sweets by being like, no, why don't you eat this much more expensive dried fruit instead? I got a multi-pack of these little like single serve baggies of dried mangoes, and I've gone through 3 of them in 2 days because they're so good. I love the texture. Gummy sweets, dopamine, says Pigeon. You get it. You get it, friend. 100%. 100%. Delicious, delicious dopamine. I do find that dried fruits like dried mangoes do hit the spot really well as well. But damn, they're so expensive. I can get like a big old bag of like jelly sweets for potentially half the price of the same amount of mango. And I will finish that entire 5-pound bag of mango. That's 5 pounds sterling, not 5 pounds in weight. I will finish that 5-pound bag of mango in the space of like a day. Because it's delicious. How could I not? Anyways. So, you know, fun stuff. Anyway. So with it goeth. What was I saying? Oh, that reminds me. There was a while where like on my Instagram and that kind of thing. Thank you. I worried for a moment you were talking about 5 weight pounds of mango. How much would that even be? That's like That's like 2,300 grams or something of mango. That's too much. Because a pound is about 450 grams. So that's like 2 1/3 kilos of mango. No, that's too much. That's too much in a day. The trouble is I would want to because it's delicious, but I shouldn't do that to my body. I don't think that's wise or healthsome. Okay. So for the night sky, I think I'm going to use a similar, but I'm just going to add more. I'm just going to add more of this like violet blue because it is quite a blue violet, but I'm all right with it having sort of a violet-y hue to it. I think that's fine. But I'm going to Let's just once again just get the stage nice and dampened such that we can lay our paint over it and the paint will get all silly, which is very much my aim. I feel like there are some segments in the vicinity of the moon where the water is kind of wanting to resist. So, but whatever. Ooh, would you look at that? This is the fun of pre-wetting your paper, is that it'll just kind of, the paint just kind of goes. It just starts going on its own little adventures, which is delightful. It's a damn delight. And this deep sea violet is perfect for it, actually. Hell yeah. Because I would love to get a bit of color separation out in here, and I would love it to be nice and dark and deep. I love wet on wet, says Pigeon. Hell yeah, me too. It's fun. It's very fun. I am going to attempt to pick up some more paint and just woof. Ooh, the intensity. I love it. It's just swirling about. I did put quite a lot of water down, so it is quite wet. And I got quiet because I was concentrating. Oh no. Especially when playing with granulating colors, says Pigeon. Yes, exactly. Deep Sea Violet is fun. I do really like these super granulation paints from Schminke. I think they're quite nice. And most of the colors I think are fairly light fast as well, which I do appreciate. I do like a light fast couleur. Not that it super matters to me because most of my original pieces aren't really being displayed in and of themselves, but you know. Just nice to know that in case they were, that they're not going to you're not going to lose parts of the painting within like a year of sticking it up someplace. And I do appreciate that knowledge. All right. Do I want to give the effect of some clouds in the night sky, or am I happy with it just being a fairly clear night? I feel like it looks like a fairly clear night. I mean, look at all of these stars that you can see. That's pretty dang good. And it's a crescent moon, so we don't have to worry about, like werewolves having troubles. Though our recent werewolf is just a happy little guy. I mean, he's maybe not the happiest little guy. If you've seen him, you can tell he's got anxiety, but it's fine. He's fine. Don't worry about it. I don't know. I feel like this looks pretty nice for a night sky. It looks kind of creepy right now because the masking fluid is yellowish and kind of raised, which just makes it look like it has a bit of a skin disease. But listen, once I peel off the masking fluid when the paint's all dry, it'll look real nice and pretty, I promise. I swear it will. I swear it. Anyways. Speaking of swearings of things, I was reminded recently, for reasons of the fact that in Anne of Green Gables, which was one of my favorite books when I was a precocious youngster, seriously, I was obsessed with that book in like 3rd grade. Oh my goodness. I recently reread a bit of it, and the bit where Anne meets the little girl who goes on to become her best friend, Diana Barry, and literally they've just met, and Anne is like, they're both just like, I can tell that we're going to be best friends, and Anne's like, yes, we should make a solemn vow to each other that we are going to be friends forever and ever and be best friends, and we must hold hands and promise to each other that we're going to be best friends forever. And I'm like, oh girl. This is delightful. I love it. I love Anne of Green Gables. If you haven't read or seen an Anne of Green Gables, gazillion out of 10 do recommend. It's lovely. But that's precious, says Pigeon. It is so precious. I love them so much. And yeah, genuinely, if you're not familiar with the Anne of Green Gables, it's very fun. Anne's a fun character. She's a spirited girl with a lot of conviction and a big imagination and a lot of notions. Gets into some hijinks, some shenanigans, and I wouldn't say a ton of tomfoolery, but she definitely gets into some hijinks and some shenanigans. And I shan't spoil it for you if you haven't experienced it for yourself. She does go on to, like, as the books go on, she does get older and grow up and continues to be a spirited woman, but also like a spirited older woman who, gets married and has kids and stuff and blah, 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 and whatever. But my favorite bits are the bits where she's a youngin' and having her shenanigans, and hijinks. I think it's nice. They did a series on this, I think the CBC, but it was on Netflix. So I watched it a couple of years ago in the 20-teens, I believe. That was a bit of a sort of a modern redo. They introduced some stuff that wasn't really in the original books, but I think in a positive way. Like, there was more overt queerness in the series than would have really been allowed. And also more, prominent non-white characters, which was nice to see. But yeah, anyways, that's that. I've been waffling on for a while, so this is gonna need quite some time to dry, and I've just seen the time, and I'm gonna need to cook dinner. So I think, despite the fact that the stream says that I've only been streaming for an hour and a half, that's a bloody lie, because stream was broken. I've actually been going on for maybe twice that long. Anyways, or at least 2.5 hours, but it's time for me to go make salad, so I think I'm going to call it there for today, because I can't really do that much more until this dries. And I still don't know what I want to put up here. So I'm going to have to do some figuring and some formulating, and we'll paint some kind of a cozy landscape into this next time, and we'll wrap these up then. But in the meantime, let me see if I can find anybody for us to raid into today. If anyone else is live, if anyone else isn't having like bizarre problems with Twitch, then I will send us in that direction. But in the meantime, oh, hold on, what are they playing? Let me just double check that this person isn't just about to finish. Okay, I think they might be just about to finish. So, I will find a stream that is not just about to finish. Oh, you know who we haven't raided in quite a while, actually? Who is one of my favorite people to raid. Let's go say hello to let's go say hello to Parent, which is always such a wonderful place to land. And just a lovely person, and a good time. And is not just about to finish stream, which is also super helpful. Raid. Ooh, doing some really beautiful artwork today. Okay, I hope that the press the raid button might... Once again, Twitch is being twitchy. But I think... I think that the raid is working, I hope. Let's just have some little ananas dropping in on the generic raid message here. I'm popping a generic raid message in chat, so you can copy... Feel free to grab the emotes if you have the emotes. If you don't have the emotes, you can just say generic raid message. And or append any cool emotes that you do have. It's all good. Yeah, there we go. I'll be back tomorrow morning playing a little bit of Silk Song. We'll see how we get on with that then. In the meantime, I'm going to have some salad. I'm going to thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's been a very, very fun time. Thank you for sticking around during the technical difficulties and all that jazz. But yeah, thank you so much. Have a good one, everybody. Good night and good luck.